If you are new on this channel, I welcome you. You are so welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. This channel is still growing, but you still come back to support your girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last month, that is the month of May, we looked at a series on what to look out for in a man before you accept to marry him. And I must say, I was impressed with your turn up to follow the videos. You did well, even though some of you did not share the videos with your loved ones. Sharing is free. It is free. But I don't know. Please share all these videos. In this video, I want us to look at some other more aspects to look out for. They might not be generally appealing to everyone, but I know they still make a lot of sense, and I feel like wrapping up everything with this particular aspect or bonus track. The first on the list is to look out for the perfect will of God for you. The other 4 series I talked about were to prepare you to look out for something. You should follow the series and understand what you should be putting attention to. So when you have this clear idea, then the next thing is God. Who among these people is the person you want me to do this assignment with? Look out for the will of God. When you have seen all the traits, pray about it. What is God saying about it? One thing you should know about the will of God is it comes with peace. There is calmness in your mind. If you find that it is in alignment with God's plans for you, however God speaks to you, and you find that it aligns with that. The second thing I want to talk about has to do with compatibility. Remember in our last video, I talked about personality and how both of you will be compatible. This particular one has little bearing with that. And I want us to look at how compatible both of you could be when it has to do with this particular factor I'll be talking about. There is this thing we call the starter and the finisher. It is a kind of behavior and a kind of trait in people. It is very important that you look out for this so that two people who share the same thing do not stay together in a place, because it has adverse effect on your marriage. This is something that helps you in your achieving of goals. That is why when you want to choose someone, it is good you choose someone whom you complement or who complements you. Who is a starter? A starter is someone who has ideas. This kind of person is an initiator of ideas. The person is highly creative. The person would mostly see opportunities in many things. A starter is that person who sees a fallow ground and begins to develop in his brain or her brain how that fallow ground can be utilized to make something out of it. A starter does not even care if the resources are there. Just start. Go ahead and start. They are the people who would start with anything they have. But the problem they have is they are not good with follow-up. Immediately they start that thing, they become tired and leave. Then the finisher steps in. A finisher would see this idea that is started and immediately begins to have plans on how this will come to fruition. A finisher is typical of a person who develops strategies on how to achieve goals. When a starter formulates these ideas and brings them to the table, he drops them and leaves. Then the finisher begins to see beyond the ideas, begins to see how the ideas are coming to reality. It is important you look at this, because I wouldn't advise two people who are starters to get married. They will always have abandoned projects. You will see them start something, drop, start something, drop. Naturally, starters will start something and get tired on the way. then a finisher will push it and push it till it comes to the end. I am an example of a starter. There are many things that have happened in our marriage. I started them. But you see, when I started and we're pushing, I get tired. I feel bored. Then I want to start something new. So if I start it and it is making headway, I will dump it for the next person who will finish it up and move to the next level. That is my nature. So I am not a good finisher. I must acknowledge that weakness. But my husband, my husband is a typical finisher. He's this kind of person who would never sit down and start telling you, I have an idea about this. He does not walk on the streets and see ideas. His own is he will wake up, go to his place of work and come back. He would really go out and come back to tell you that, okay, he has seen opportunity in something. I, on the other hand, we can be working and something will happen and I'll tell him this is something that can bring money, and he will see sense in it. If for any reason I want to take over that dimension and start, immediately I start it and it is making headway, I will dump it and go. I don't have the power to stay there. My husband will follow it up till the end. So by the end of the day, it is not something that came from one person's effort. It is both of you doing it together. Now, why I said this is something you should pay attention to is because when you get married and both of you are starters, you can imagine the number of abandoned projects you will have in that marriage. This is why it is not advisable for two starters to get married or two finishers to get married. When two finishers get married, it will take a lot of effort for them to achieve some things. You will typically not see projects around them because they are not initiators. You will typically not see businesses that are growing around them. They will just live life. There is nothing that propels them to desire to start something. These people that are finishers would always wait for someone to lay foundation before they finish up the work. Before you get married, know this person if he is a starter or a finisher. Find the person that the two of you can complement each other, so you will win at the end of the day, because this person brings his portion, the other brings his portion, and it will be balanced. The thought I want to talk about is about education, and this is totally my view. You can do what you want to do. Personally, I feel that the couples who have attained a level of education and there is a balance between that would achieve more than couples whose level of education is like this. One is way down, the other one is way above. The balance is not there. I would not advise that you go into that except if God spoke to you and that is your case. So there are exceptions. What I want you to know is when the two of you are on a parallel with your partner, when it has to do with education, especially a level of exposure in education, it will affect your marriage. So I have seen people who would go to the university, acquire their first degree, then settle with someone who managed to finish primary school. See, it does not mostly end well. Your level of exposure is not the same. What you are seeing as the lady, the man will never see it. Or what you are seeing as the man, the woman will never see it. I understand that some people had a lot of challenges while growing up and maybe they couldn't go to the school because of the challenges. You will know. When you meet that person, you will know that the person has the desire for school. Because while the person is growing up, the person will never be comfortable with that primary school. You would have seen some levels of efforts in trying to achieve or acquire some level of knowledge. It might not be the conventional way, but they would want to go for something that will put them on a little bit of advantage when it comes to education. And that person is far better for me. But someone who stopped at primary school and never had the interest for that, all the person thinks of is how to make money. See, all you will be discussing is plus and minus. The currency in your country, and that is on period. There are some things you also want to discuss with the person, and when you are talking to that person, if the person has low self-esteem, he will always remind you that you are doing that because you are more educated than him. So why will you choose to be in that kind of place? In fact, when you get married to someone like that and you want to further your studies, it will be difficult because the person does not see any reason in that. Why should you go to the school? If I could just finish primary school and I have money, why do you want to go to the school? Going to the school is not just because you want to make money. There are many things that school offers you. You meet people, you build quality network. Aside from the quality relationship you build in the school, you build a level of mental capacity that is open to different new things. You are open to understanding people and where they are coming from. You become more tolerant to other people, and this will help you to build good quality relationship. If you get married to a man who is not as educated as you are, and he does not have this understanding, when you have issues and you begin to tell him that, you see, there's this that happens in this, just like I learned in the school, you say, yes, you have gone to the school. I will not hear words in this house. Every time you have gone to school, what is the meaning of that? He manipulates you. Imagine you are with someone who went to the school and is conversant with all these things you want to say. Immediately you say, where is that? The next thing is to pick his phone and go on Google to search. And when he's done searching, he can come to you and say, wow, see, I did not even know about this thing. Thank you for telling me. You see, two different people with two different responses because of their level of education. I'm not trying to say that if you want to get married to someone, you must get married to a person who has the same level of education with you. No. What you want to look out for is this person willing to learn? You can go for a person who is not on the same level of education as you are, but at least if you have gone to the university, let the person have an experience of a tertiary institution. It doesn't matter the nature of the studies. It could be the conventional type or the non-conventional type. Maybe those who went to a satellite campus to acquire a certificate. The person went for some certifications, a diploma program, a certificate program, just that the person has an experience of a higher institution. It is better for you because there will be a level of balance between you when you are communicating with this person. Because of this exposure to this kind of life, it is easier for the person to reason towards your direction. When you pick someone who has zero knowledge of that kind of lifestyle and you had that exposure, you chose to go for the person, I wish you well. I pray the Lord helps you, except if it is God that gave you that direction, fine, because there are men who can still support you there if it is the will of God for you and if they do not have low self-esteem. The fourth I want us to look at is communication. Ooh, please watch out for the way the two of you communicate. I don't understand how you are in a relationship and communication is a problem and you say you love the person. All these things I said in the video now, how will you ask him questions? When you don't communicate, small talk like this, you people have had misunderstanding and you are still there. Look out for communication skills. Build good communication strategy and good communication skills with the person. It doesn't matter the kind of personality the person is, whether introvert, extrovert, as long as you are in a relationship with the person. A good communication atmosphere is what you should look out for. Introverts talk. Hope you know that. They are very loud when they are familiar with you. So when you are in a relationship with this introvert or with this extrovert, make sure you create an atmosphere of communication, healthy communication. This atmosphere gives you the room to communicate with each other very well, gives you the room to be vulnerable to each other, gives you the room to talk about the things you like and the things you do not like, gives you the room to ask vital questions about your marriage and other things gives you the room for so many things. If you tried several times to build communication atmosphere and it is not working, run away for your life, because you don't want to get married to someone and you can't talk. Why? Go for a man who is willing to accept communication as one of the deals. He is willing to be open and interact with you. The fifth one I want us to look out for is look out for someone who is teachable. Yay! This is very important. We have looked at so many things and I said you should look out for this, look out for that, look out for this, look out for that. But I myself, I might not have all the things I talked about because some of them might be my weak points. The most important thing is we learn from other people, because some of the things we do are from a place of ignorance. But when we are open to that knowledge, we can learn and imbibe them in our lives, and that will become part of us. When you meet a person who is willing to drop some things and adopt some of the things that are now new, it will be good for you. A teachable person is one of the best gifts that God will give you in this life, because when you express yourself about the things you do not like, the person will be willing to go through the process of learning the new thing you want him or her to learn. If this person is teachable, please grab the person, because anything you see you do not like, as long as you talk about it, the person will make effort to change. The next thing I want to talk about is to look out for family patterns. Family patterns. So this one we might say it is spiritual, but it is very, very important. Look out for occurrences in their family. What are the things that are very common with them? Common with his parents, common with his sisters, common with his relatives. Check them very well, so you know the kind of weapon you're coming into that family with. I didn't say you should come and be fighting people. No. I didn't say you should go into the family and fight. But you will be prepared. You know if these people are kind or they are rude or whatever they are, you know. If it is what you cannot stay with, you just pack yourself and go back. Because there are families that I will never advise you to go into because of your mental health. They always have crisis. It is like a war zone. So if you do not have the strength and the energy to be fighting every day, you know this is not the best place for you, because there will be confusion inside your head. Your husband always comes back home to complain to you about what has happened between him and his sister, what has happened between him and his brother. He does not have anything good to tell you about them. You cannot see them relating one with another as good people. Where do you want your children to go to tomorrow? When you have your children, you will be happy that they have their cousins that they are relating with. That is family. That the family is an extension of the people that are there. So if you enter a family that they are never connected one to another, everybody will have his children. Then the children will be looking for people outside to build friendship with. I don't know how you want to do it, but look out for family patterns. Look out for occurrences. Look out for behaviors that either push the family members up or it brings them down. This might be spiritual, but it is essential. I know there are a lot of things that are supposed to be talked about in this series, but for now, this is all I can say. Then there will be times that we would have some interactions, maybe a podcast with someone who is more knowledgeable here. And we'll talk about other vital topics that I have not addressed here, which are essential, which are good for you to look out for. I want you to take time and go through these videos. Everything might not appeal to you, but whatever appeals to you, pay attention to it. And I pray for you that when you are making this decision, you will not make the wrong choice. Thank you so much for watching this video to this end. Have a nice day. Till I come your way again next time. Bye.